Hello, 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 hello. So, yes, subscribe, comment, and share, please. Any place else you want to find us, just scan the QR code in the corner and you can follow me there. Hi there. So, wow. Uh, Thomas is a little late. He's getting some tea. Tonight we're going to talk about Brave and the Bold 85, the first appearance. This is a all hail to uh, the illustrious late great Neil Adams. This is the first appearance of Green Arrow after Neil Adams designed him in the costume to the hero we know today and the one we will know in the future, and the Dark Knight Returns, except he's missing an arm there. Hello.
Hey man, can you hear
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
me? I upgraded my webcam and my microphone.
Oh, yeah.
So
All right, all right, all right. Oh. So it's the pre-show, and it's like the sun's going down here, as you can see from the glare off my face. And you can actually get a good look at my Heath Ledger Joker wall cling in the back there.
yeah, it's a wall cling? I thought it was a
Yeah.
statue or something.
No, it's a vinyl wall cling. My friend Randy, that owns my local comic shop, him and his wife and his son gave that to me like years ago now.
Oh, sweet.
And I just put it up like a few months back. And as you can see, there's a couple of my Joker vinyl banks and a Batman vinyl bank. I've got I've got like Cesar Romero's over there, of course, the greatest of all. And but I've got like the 66 S'more 66 Batman stuff. I think I've got a Robin somewhere. I've got a Batman. So they're pretty cool. So a little mad at you.
Why?
You sent me like 40 pounds of comics, dude.
It wasn't 40 pounds.
Oh no, that wasn't the poundage. That was just the shipping cost. Oh. I'm like, oh my god.
Dude, I've been saving them for a little bit. I got some stuff. I said, well, let me go and send it to him while I got a box.
I'm like, geez. And then, like, for a guy that doesn't have a comic shop, you know, local to you,
Yeah.
you score a lot of great finds. Now, you said that antique shop that you stop in and pick through the boxes just got
Yeah.
60 more boxes in.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Man, and they'll, some of the stuff they pull out and they put online. I mean, they'll catch some of the, the higher dollar big key stuff usually goes out the door. They'll put it on eBay or whatever. Sometimes they'll let me know, but a lot of the smaller stuff just like disappears. It goes in the dollar boxes or they throw $5 on it. Really doesn't know what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
It's never great stuff. I mean, I have found some really good deals there, but a lot of it's just, like I picked up. I'll show you these. I got these two the other day, and I asked for a discount, so I think I got both of them for like $8 a piece or something. But and they're not 9/8 or no crap like that, but they're solid 8s, maybe a little better than that. A clean and a press will definitely do wonders for either. But I got a first Gray Ghost. Remember when everybody wanted that?
Hold on. Let me blow this up here.
Yeah. So I got a first Gray Ghost.
I might have one of those because
Yeah.
that right there was my favorite Iron Man suit. So,
Well, she was this character really. I mean, you remember in the last Ant-Man movie,
Mhm.
that was the villain, so it took
Yeah.
off. And I normally don't buy a whole lot of Black Panther books, and they were really, I don't say problematic, but they were really problematic in the 70s. But I did manage to pick up a Jungle Action number 20, Black Panther. And I looked it up. I'm like, okay, this looks familiar. What's the deal with this one? This is the one where he fights the KKK.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So this is the one where, like, the story I read one time before was the editor said something like, not all, I guess not all white people are bad, blah, blah, blah. You can't be beating up all the white people that are, you got to, maybe show some good white people or something. And
Mhm.
like the very next issue, he fights the KKK. But I got those two, and I did order because it was on sale. It was 47% off or some crap on Amazon. Doctor Strange Omnibus number 1.
Oh God. And that
What?
just the art on the cover of that is just
Yeah, the Alex
stupendous.
Ross.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I think it's got it's just a regular interior.
See, that's cool. You can take off the beautiful dust jacket and place it aside somewhere and just keep the book out and read it.
And of course, it's just the Doctor Strange stories from Strange Tales.
Yep.
It is issues 110, 111, and then 114 through 146, plus Amazing Spider-Man Annual 2. So I picked that up. Oh, this is
kind of like this.
Yeah. Oh, well, I saw it on sale. I got it, and I said, well, hey, I got that one. I'll send that one to you. And I did pick up this. I think I told you about it. I ordered it. I heard about them a while back, and I got it on sale. But Comic Book Chronicles, the
nice.
50s. And it's a year-by-year kind of breakdown of what was going on in the comic book world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got, all the, kind of what the hell's going on, what's being published, just the whole 9 yards.
Nice.
And it was on sale too. Weird Science. Awesome.
Prince Valor.
But yeah. I mean, there's no comic. I mean, I'm 2 hours away from a comic book shop. There's a couple of antique shops around me that carry comics every now and then. The one I go to here close by, he told me they got about 60 boxes in.
Wow.
They're just trying to go through them. So,
Tell them I'll go through them for them.
Exactly.
How about I go through them and
pick out what I want?
Yeah. And we do a deal, and then you can
now the sad thing
the
was, did you see the did you see the picture I put on Facebook the other day when I went? I was going through the boxes, and then all of a sudden they were like just rows of books that were all the same, and I'm like, what in the world are these? So I flipped them open, and they were like 93 Batman, 93 Superman, 1993, Batman and Superman, just 20 and 30 issues of the same, 20, 30 copies of each issue. Never read, never touched. I was like, wow.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So I got the splatter vinyl in from our Kickstarter that I backed last year. I told you I went and I bought like all their stuff.
Yeah.
Both their a smaller trade and a much larger trade, and in the new book and the Game of Thrones homage to their friend that passed away. And they just did another one. I just finally got the splatter vinyl. I was a little disappointed in because it was just like it looked like somebody took like a paintball gun from like 100 yards away and shot it, and that the paintballs didn't explode. They just made like a little dots. And so instead of being like big splatter effect like they showed, it was just like these little. I go, oh yeah,
little pinpricks.
yeah. So she put it away over here someplace for me, but I got that in. I got some more books in from the Rick Funk crew.
Yeah.
Nothing too spectacular. I got like a Joker #8, so I've got like 8, 9, and 10 of that run right now.
Oh, sweet.
I got an old
first series or the current one?
The current one. Oh, I own multiples of the first series.
Oh, cool.
I've got like 2 or 3 #1s. I like to get like the best one and like get it graded and throw it on the wall. But yeah, I got a it's beat up pretty bad. It was well loved, shall we say, but I got another Detective Comics 100-page for $1. Well, that was the cover price. I actually paid like $8 for it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You can't beat any of the 100-page books if you pay, anything, remotely shy of $10. You're doing
yeah, because you get a new story, and then you get all these other like characters like appearing on the cover, and you get like a reprint of one of their stories, or maybe a new one. But I'm like, cool. I go,
yeah.
There's a good chance I haven't read any of those, so I'm fine with it, and I'm never going to be able to own the originals. Where I think this one looks like they put in like Hawkman #1 or #4.
Well, that's cool.
And I'm like, okay, it's probably like 5 or 6 pages long, but
hey, that's 5 or 6 pages of Hawkman #1. Who?
Yeah.
God, who created? Well, no, Hawkman #1 was that was
wasn't that
Hawkman
Gardner?
was from the Silver Age. Was a Golden Age character too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember who did the Golden Age. I know Kubrick did the Silver Age character.
Mm-hmm. Gardner Fox did some stuff on Hawkman too.
Yeah, I can't. Fox did that, and he did freaking Green Lantern, and he did what was the other one he did? Why am I losing my brain? Adam Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I did send you a really well loved mystery.
Yes, you did.
If you didn't see it.
Yes, it looks like you've been rolling it up in your back pocket at work and carrying it around for a little while.
This one I need a break to let's read this. But hey, it's 60 years old, so give it a break.
Yeah, I'm like, there were a few well-loved books in there, and I will eventually sit down and read most of them. I know you said there's a few in there that you need to be done on the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not talking about the trade that you sent me of Squadron Supreme. And thank you very much, because I've never owned the full run of Squadron Supreme. I couldn't even get my hands on the little mini of Squadron Supreme that they did in the Jason Aaron Secret Wars, where Doom was all white and the king of the world. And
well, they say that Squadron Supreme, the first mini, that trade is actually, or that series was the first actual superhero deconstructionist story before Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
but it's of course it's not as famous, but it's dude, Squadron Supreme is awesome.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there are a bunch in there, and there's some books that I have that are like beat to hell. I got really mad because I had a DC Shazam book
Yeah.
from when Shazam was on TV,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
you know
70s.
in the '70s when it was originally on TV, and I think it was like issue 11.
Yeah.
Turns out that's the first appearance of Black Adam in DC Comics.
Are you serious?
Like 15 years ago, that book was going like even in bad condition. Like I had that book since I was a little kid. That came off the shelf, and I went like everywhere with it. And the show was on TV, and my friends watched it. So we were always, can I look at your Shazam comic again? Yeah, sure, yeah. So it's like, messed up, and it got folded in half in a couple of moves, and I'm like, I don't care. Well, now I care.
It's worth a small fortune,
I
or it would
saw
have been.
I saw like a high. I saw like a 9.8 grade of that. And somebody bought it off of eBay for like $250.
Really?
I'm like, son of a. I
See
did.
now,
I did buy a nice. I've been picking up a couple of like Captain Marvel, the real Captain Marvel, not that chick from Disney. Uh, the original Captain Marvel.
I
Like
have
here
two
and there,
actually though.
they'll have like one or two here or there, like on the Rick Funk show.
Yeah.
Older stuff that we like. Um, the best guy in their, well, outside of Rick himself, the best guy to follow through with is Andy. Andy's got like a ton of like Silver Age. He has some like newer stuff too, but the other week he must have put up like close to 100 uh Silver Age Supermans.
Really?
I'm like, ridiculous. Action, Superman, Jimmy Olsen's pal, and Lois Lane issues.
Sadly I buy some Lois Lane issues just for the covers. I mean, the whole Super
Mhm.
Dickory thing is so funny. I mean, I think the last one I bought is the one where she's in outer space and Superman breaks the damn oxygen tube, so she's gonna suffocate.
It's like, bitch, I'm so sick of saving your life.
I'm gonna end it.
I mean, I got stuff to do. Lana's a redhead and way harder than you. I gotta go.
He does have a thing for the L's though.
Mhm.
Well, he dated three chicks, all LLs.
Oh yeah, all of them. I'm like, it's just crazy. It's gonna get dark over here soon because
Yeah.
I have not put the light on and the switch is on the other side, so
Oh God.
I don't feel like going around the other side.
I said I got a new camera and it was awful dark in here, so I actually cut the light on. Sweet Power Girl.
So, do you remember like about 20 years ago, DC came out with like their big 13-inch line,
Yeah.
and they were
Everything
Hello.
okay? What is it? Stuff. They had a band school meeting.
uh-oh.
End of school meeting. Oh, sweet. He never even opened it.
No.
They come with extra hands back then.
Yeah, they came with like extra hands and stuff. The first one I got was Green Lantern.
Yeah.
If you open it up and twist his the lantern that he recharges with, it lights up. There's like a watch battery inside.
Huh. Cool.
But
That one doesn't have a light or anything in it, does it?
nope. But if it gets chilly out, you never know.
Oh my God.
I was actually thinking if she comes up to the Northeast, having Karen Nicole, Arizona Power Girl, there, sign it.
Sign it.
Yeah. I'm like, it's not the real one, but we don't have a real one, so it doesn't matter.
No, there's not a real Power Girl right now.
But I've got a bunch of those, and then I lost a DJ gig I had at the time, so my cash flow went. Ew. So since I couldn't pay for them, he sold a good chunk of the ones that I had. I saw somebody. I've got like 2 Aquamans. I just bought them both. I'm like, this is cool.
The orange and green.
The original Aquaman, yeah.
Yeah, the orange and green.
And they made like the scale armor like all shiny.
Yeah.
So it looks cool and metal and everything. I saw somebody put one of them on Facebook Marketplace the other day for $100.
Really? The 13-inch ones.
And that's what they cost when they put them out. They were like, they started at the beginning. There was a double wide one. It was Clark Kent on one side, like Christopher Reeve Clark Kent.
Yeah.
No, more like a George Reeve Clark Kent. He had like the fedora hat.
Okay.
And Superman on the other side. That one was like $150.
Oh.
And it was super rare. Then they released a couple of regular Supermans after that. I was supposed to get the regular comic book Superman, but instead they sent me Brandon Routh Superman Returns. It was a very sad day.
As sad as that movie is, there are some good scenes in it, but it's pretty sad for the most part. It's like the first Hulk movie. There's some good scenes, but it's pretty overall it's pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm. My buddy Dave, rest his soul, and I thought it was going to be good. So we drove from Rhode Island to Natick, Massachusetts, to the Jordan's Furniture there, and went to the IMAX theater because Superman was in 3D. Now the 3D scenes were like, when he caught the plane and crunched it and almost killed everybody. That one, his kind of sort of flashback when he went back to Smallville and he threw the baseball running through the field. Yeah. When he was in the flashback to him being young and running through the field and leaping over everything, tip of the hat to, leaping over tall buildings in a single bound. That was like in 3D, but it was like, oh my God, that was awful. I don't even want to see another 3D movie again.
Yeah. I've only seen.
And then we went back and saw The Matrix in 3D.
Oh my God.
And the only good part of The Matrix in 3D movie, because it was like the second or third one, I think it was like the last part of the trilogy. When they went into the nightclub and there was the woman that was, a bad guy.
Yeah.
But she was in a red dress and she was stacked and jacked like a Vegas poker deck. That close-up scene was the only part of the 3D that I enjoyed in that movie. I was going to leave and he's like, no, wait. So-and-so? He goes, yeah. He goes, she's in this movie. I go, yeah. He goes, there's a 3D scene you're not going to want to miss. I'm like,
dang it.
When's that coming up? He goes, about 20 minutes. I go, okay, I'm going to go back out and get some more popcorn.
For 20 minutes.
Because it's just, it's not good.
talking about movies, I don't know if you've seen it. I did go see Doctor Strange, and it is good. I
Yeah,
like it.
I have not gone and seen it. Um, I figure I will just wait another month and it'll be up on Disney Plus, and then you wait like 20 days so you're not an idiot and pay like $30 to watch a movie that's on their platform.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, movies are changing though. Everything. I don't say everything is changing, but it is different. When I went to see it, it was the second week. I did go see it during a matinee or a late matinee. It was 4:30. I can't remember what time it was, and there were like 5 people at the theater.
wow.
Yeah, I almost watched it by myself. It was kind of weird.
That's always the best time to go and see it because the kids aren't going to be there at like the matinee show.
Yeah,
They're still, in bed, and people are working during the day, and people that aren't working usually don't have the $10 to go watch a movie.
yeah.
So
I did enjoy it. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's get this show on the road. And hey, it's okay, Boomer, the podcast again. I'm Will.
Yep. This is Thomas.
And today we are going to look at, is this 85?
85. 85.
Number 85 of Brave and the Bold. 85. And this is a tip of the hat to the late, great Mr. Neil Adams.
Yep.
This is the first appearance of his redesign on Green Arrow.
Yes, it is. We were going to do this, was it 2 weeks ago? And when he passed away and some, personal life got in the way and we literally, had to call it off. So we're back. I actually did reread it today though, but dude, this is a freaking awesome comic book for just being like a one-off. I mean, you start off with the cover, which this scene is not in the book at all, people, but you get a freaking awesome, Brave and the Bold cover there with Batman and Green Arrow on it. And like I said, this is the new redesign of Green Arrow. The Senator's been shot.
And what was weird is like, oh no, Gordon's down. And then
you thought it was Gordon?
Well, first looking at it, I go, oh, wait, no mustache. It's not Jim.
Yeah, it's not Jim. Damn it. But, yep, Brave and the Bold 85 from 1969. August to September. National Periodical Publications.
A couple of months before I was even born, so
yep.
I could not have bought this one off the spinner rack.
Does it have the Lord? I think it was it O'Neill and Arrow and Adams? I can't.
Yeah.
It's not. Doesn't show, but I think it's O'Neill and Adams.
Yeah, it's Denny O'Neill and Neil Adams. And we don't know who the other bit players were, but
no. You'd have to look them up. The DC never really gave the creators credit back in the day. It wasn't until later. The thing that's is funny is reading this book now, and this is something I would have never thought of if I'd read this much younger. But you know as well as I do, this is one of the topics that often comes up when you're talking about Batman or Green Arrow or whoever. But uh, would Bruce Wayne do actually more for Gotham than Batman would? You know, could he use his money in different ways to make the city a better place?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of front and center in this book. And I just didn't expect it because like I said, I'd never read it until the other day. But yeah, the book picks up at the it's kind of like an election campaign headquarters. It says so. This election is over at the campaign headquarters, and the winner, which is the senator here, he goes out to give his his congratulation, or victory speech, and somebody's going by in a little senator mobile there, letting everybody know vote for him, and they shoot him. And of course, Bruce Wayne's there and manages to leap on the stage and catch him before he hits the ground. But the senator's been shot.
So, of course, I had to look up on the DC database the
other people.
The download. Of course, it's featured characters: Batman and Green Arrow. Supporting characters: single appearance: Edmund Cathcart.
Okay.
Rather. Mikos Minotaur, single appearance. Paul Cathcart, single appearance. Munson, single appearance. Gotham City and Gotham State Hospital. The Mediterranean Sea. Star City, because that's where Ollie used to work out of in Washington, D.C. Items used in this were the Batarang, a bat rope, and trick arrows. Vehicles, the bat plane, and Oliver Queen's helicopter. And let's see, scrolling. It doesn't even list.
The creators?
Doesn't even list the creators.
Really?
Let me see. Let me go up top and see if it says anything. Oh, there it is. Bob Haney was the writer.
So what? No, Neil. Okay.
Nope. Neil Adams was the penciler with Dick Giordano inks. The infamous Ben Oda that littered everything for DC for like 50 years. And Murray Boynton was the editor.
Wow. Okay.
That's it.
I do like.
Oh, and there was a side note that was added to this that Carmen Infantino was the executive editor, and of course we can tell that cover was also done by Neil Adams.
Yes. Yeah. Neil, especially at this time, even today, so even in his recent work, he's so distinctive. You can just tell Adams. Right off. I mean, and that's the whole style with Adams. There's a few characters, a few artists that just they stand out heads above. Adams, Steranko, Kirby,
Matt Wagner,
the big ones. Wagner stands out. McFarlane he stands out so much it's almost crazy.
Yeah, the billionaire toy man. Yeah.
Dude, but I love McFarlane. But this, I think, too, I was reading this book, and the other thing that got me, because, it tells a great story, and the action is pretty easy to read for the most part, but if we read some of the later Neil Adams stories, a little after this, because he did, up until, I don't say the mid-'70s, but 72 or 73. Mm-hmm. So he had a couple more years after this. The panel layouts get better. They're a little junky here. But the story is awesome. You can still follow. Like here, you could tell Bruce heads out. He gets off the stage. He's got to go change into Batman when now that the center's shot and stop the people as they get away. And you see he's running up these stairs. So the panel is, it juts up.
Mm-hmm.
But then look at how it breaks down. It's kind of all the other ones are a little weird. There's another section later in the book that I had to stop and really look at, where Green Arrow has to shoot the hand grenade out the window and it explodes,
Mhm.
and the panel is turned. The whole page is kind of at a weird, right angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Batman heads up and manages to change into his costume, and he's smart enough. He knows which way the truck has got to go to get away. So he catches up to him, and then when he lands on top of it, they're still in there. And they're, this is not modern 90s, 2000s Batman. So they're like, hey, we'll shake his ass off. And they just sling him off, and he goes into like the damn side of a bridge or something here. And what's sad is when he falls down, he realizes the air horn is still, if elected to be president, I vow to sweep our state of crime and end, to this end, dedicate the remaining years of my life. And he knows it's Paul, the senator's voice, that's coming from the speakers, and he just kind of gets upset. What kind of people would do this? Of course, now our story turns. This is where it really starts to get good for me. It turns back to the hospital, and we find out here that so they whisk the senator away. They get him to the hospital, and he's in the bed where they got the tent over him. He's in a coma, and Bruce Wayne, of course, is footing the bill for all this guy's medical bills. And he shows up, and he gets a call. It's from the freaking governor. So the governor of the state. Where is Gotham set anyway? What state is it in?
I think it's like Illinois.
Really?
Illinois or Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry. Well, so the governor calls him, and hey, he's calling. We need to talk to him. And the nurse directs him to go to the chief resident's office to pick up the phone. So he gets there, and when he does, it's the governor, and he says, hey, Bruce, this is terrible. But the senator was actually ready for it. So he's got a resignation letter in place, and if he dies, he's got this big crime bill that him and Bruce Wayne have been working on to get it appointed and to get it voted on and approved. And he can't vote on it because he's in the hospital. He may die. So the senator or the governor tells him, hey, I've got to replace somebody. And Bruce Wayne is like, not a problem. I think you should, have his son take his place, Edmund, who we find out is a psychiatrist. But
and a great choice. He goes, no, the senator named you as his replacement. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, well, I can't be a U.S. senator and fight crime.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he thinks. Yeah, he's like, oh my God, because he's shocked. He's, I can't, I can't do it. I'm too busy as Batman. And the governor even says, hey, Edmund's too busy with his psychiatric practice. It's got to be you. No. Yeah, you must be joking. But the whole page, you could tell the whole book changed. Yeah, Bruce is just like, oh my God. He's like, no joke. You work just as hard on the crime bill. We know you can get it voted on. This is just, and I don't say just like today's Senate, but literally one person is controlling the whole damn thing. If Bruce Wayne votes on the frickin' bill, it gets approved and becomes law. If Bruce Wayne doesn't vote on the bill, it's going to be shot down and it won't pass, and all their hard work will be for nothing.
And the evil Minotaur will get his way, which is where Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, who has not donned the tights in years at this point.
And that it's
completely disappeared, and it's just Ollie Queen doing the millionaire corporate thing.
Yep.
And he's actually in a bidding war with Minotaur, who is like the head of like the big worldwide crime organization, like a Dr. No kind of character.
Yeah. He runs Argot Unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So and what's bad is
that's where they get intertwined, and the way this played out, Bruce and Ollie don't know who their super identities are yet.
No, they don't. They have no idea. And that's the whole thing that's funny is like I said, this is the only reason that Ollie kind of even goes to where Gotham is this is this is apparently they're going to rebuild a whole section of Gotham City on like the existing landfill.
Yeah,
They're
on
gonna
an
like
on
build
an
it over.
island, and they're gonna
Yeah,
build this. They're gonna build this big thing, and I was reading it. I go. It almost sounds like they're gonna build the raft from Marvel.
the raft from Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, the raft, the floating prison
yeah,
there.
yeah. The floating prison. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Uh, but yeah, so he's like you said, he's been out of the comics for a long time. He's been doing his billionaire thing, but he also has been keeping up with the you know the criminal underworld, and he knows, hey, if Milkos Minotaur gets this contract, not only does he have the contract, but he has access and influence over all of the finances in the state,
Hmm.
possibly even some sections of the government.
Yep.
Um, and lo and behold, his faithful butler or whoever's like, hey, we got a lower bid. Obviously, they won't, take um, his bid on it. And Ollie's like, well, I don't know, maybe. And he tells the butler to take the plans and just take them out, take them with you when you leave, so that nobody damages them. Because you got to have the plans there as a proof of concept, or
Hmm.
they're not going to take the bid. And when the butler there leaves, Ollie just decides, hey, I'm going to try on my Green Arrow outfit. I haven't had it for a while, so he puts it on, and he's like, it's almost like I've forgotten it. And then lo and behold, he notices in the distance on the skyscraper, there's somebody he thinks is a window washer who's actually cutting a hole in the glass and throws a damn hand grenade in. But when they do, Ollie's now managed to change into his Green Arrow outfit and shoots a trick arrow, which on the next page we see catches. This is what I was telling you. This is a little weird. Catches the arrow, so you see it catched here, and he knocks it out of the window up here. And then you have to go to this panel, and you see the guys like leaning against the glass. It just reads a little weird to me.
Yeah, that guy should be dead.
Yeah, if he didn't if he survived the blast there, the shockwave probably would have knocked his ass off the window the window cleaning platform.
The window cleaning platform would have gone first because
Yeah,
they're not that sturdy. They're just there in a couple of block and tackle ropes. I'm like, that thing
yeah.
will be gone. I'm sorry.
Well, the window does blow up, and when the window blows up, Ollie runs to it, and he sees the window cleaner like getting away, and it looks like somebody's got his plans or something, but it's a little weird because he's not that far up in the picture, but if you look at the actual beginning of the book, he's like at the top of the skyscraper. It's kind of weird.
Mm.
But we do find out Ollie has got a duplicate set of plans, so he knows that he can still make a bid and win this contract, which he's been doing the whole same thing, kind of like Bruce was earlier. He's like, hey, what's more beneficial, my Oliver Queen costume or my Oliver Queen identity or Green Arrow? And this is where he starts to think, it was Green Arrow. As Green Arrow, he foiled the killer. So which identity is more important for me? Of course, now we flash back to Bruce, and this is the senator's son, Ed, who this is kind of a little shocking. Not shocking to me, but kind of took me by surprise. They're actually working out together at a gym, and Ed's trying to get him, hey, it's so glad that, the governor's nominated you to be the senator. You'll be able to do the vote. Dad's bill will get passed. Everything's great. You've got the money, the time, everything, what to do. Uh, Batman helped my my father do all this. And Bruce is like, he says, I don't want to, disappoint you, but I can't do this because I've got another oath to do, another job as Batman because I'm Batman. He just comes out and tells him.
Because Batman is doing his best detective work to find the people who actually shot his father.
Yeah, he doesn't know at this point, but at that, so here Ed's a little shocked. He's like, Bruce, this, you aren't dodging me, are you? And he says, no, you don't have a reason to. I guess he uses his, he says he believes Bruce. Bruce is Batman, and of course, then he curls like Jesus, like 175 pounds or some crap.
Mm-hmm.
So he realizes he's Batman, and hey, this decision you have to do, whether you can stay Batman or take the job as senator and get the bill passed. And they leave on good terms.
And the funny thing is, the huge muscle bound guy can't lift up the barbell that Bruce was curling. He can't.
Not only that.
Dare I say? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Where is it?
Oh,
I know
God.
it's here somewhere. Dare I say, muscle bound Rex can't get it up.
Oh my God. Yeah. The roid monster can't really get the bar up there. And what's funny is we know hopefully they can't get the bar up, and then hopefully they can't hear that Bruce Wayne just told Ed that he's Batman.
Yeah.
So they break, and then here's Oliver Quinn helicopter there as they head out to the build site. He's Ollie's showing the senator's son the build site. This is where we're going to put the new Gotham. Blah blah blah. It's going to be beautiful. There'll be no crime. Everything will be great. And he's like, hey, I've done all this before. And then Oliver Quinn just drops it on him. Hey, I really, I don't know what I'm going to do. I know you've, become dedicated to this and all my other projects, but, there's some other stuff that's stopping me. You see, I'm also Green Arrow. So this poor psychiatrist has gotten 2 superhero identities dropped on him within a matter of, we're going to say hours or days.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, damn it.
I don't want to know this stuff.
Yeah, this is crap that could get me killed. Luthor's out there. He would kill for this information.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of he doesn't spill the beans. He's like, but I was thinking about somebody else just like that. But he never tells who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a cool scene. All blue. That night, back at his psychiatric office, Ed's going over everything. Amazing coincidence. Bruce and Oliver both reaching the same turning point in their credible lives. I'm sure their problem can be worked out. And these damn losers come in. He's like, hey, my office is closed. And of course they've got guns, so they're going to kidnap him. He gets a little scared. He's like, oh God, it's Milk. They discover here it's Milkos Minotaur that's going to kidnap him because he thinks that if he uses Ed there, he can use him as bait and get Ollie Quinn to not turn in his bid and get Batman to lay off tracking them down. Or
Ollie Queen.
Yeah, Ollie Queen.
You tied Harley Quinn and Green Arrow together.
Oh God. Oh, it happens. So
I know.
Hours later, Green Arrow comes back and he's going to go in. He's superhero, so obviously he's going to use his rope and go in. When he gets into the office, he realizes Batman's there. He's like, Batman, what are you doing? He says, Green Arrow, I didn't recognize you for a moment. Dr. Cathart's office has been broken into. There's signs of a struggle. So Batman's been there, obviously not long, and he decides that, the place is broken into. And he says, hey, I've noticed that the tape recorder's been left on. So he knows that the doctor left it on as a clue. So he rewinds it. And there, when he plays it back, they discover that the Minos Minotaur wants him and his company, and they're the ones that kidnapped him. So now we discover there at the bottom, Minotaur is trying to get Bruce Wayne through Ed. Minotaur is striking at the New Island project using Ed as a hostage. And then, of course, they decide to break up there for a minute. Hey, Green Arrow, I got to go to the rescue, Ed, and you'll have to start alone. I've got some important unfinished business. Will do, Batman. This is not the Ollie Quinn of later issues, though, because you know as well as I do, later on, Ollie is pretty much a butthole. I mean, at this point, like, oh, look, there's a real crime fighter, utterly fearless. He knows exactly where his bat rope is in the darkness. He's like, oh, look at Batman. He's so cool. Modern Ollie Quinn would have been like, whatever, Batman.
Yeah, not just that, but when he was teamed up with Hal Jordan, they were doing the Hard Traveling Heroes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I used to really like Green Arrow. He's a douche. Worse, he's a liberal.
He's an asshole.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell?
What is it? You remember the Justice League Unlimited cartoon when they got Green Arrow on the show?
Yeah.
And they're all going on that. Green Arrow's like, I know why you want me on the show. You want somebody up here that'll keep you, you gods in check or whatever. And I'm like, whoa. He's like, dude, some of these dudes could nuke your ass from orbit. They don't even have to do anything. You need to lay off.
They could do worse than that. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. So, Batman and Ollie break up, and lo and behold, the next morning, Bruce has decided the crime bill must pass. So he's in Washington, accepting the role of being the new senator for, I guess, Illinois. We discussed it, and he's like, "Hey, the crime bill has got to pass." And Green Arrow, of course, has managed to take a plane to the island in the Mediterranean where he has discovered that Milkos Minotaur has his secret Dr. No base. And he, sneaks in, even tracks the boat.
Going through like an underground river. And
yeah.
Is it just me, or does Minotaur have a little resemblance to Stan Lee? I mean, his face is drawn out more, but
maybe Stan now. But you got to think when it was drawn, it didn't look like Stan then.
Oh no, it didn't look.
Back then Stan had had black hair and had the Stan
was like,
stash.
In about 50 years from now, Minotaur is going to look a lot like Stan Lee. When he's dead.
Damn it!
But yeah, this is like the underground river hideout, and GA tags his hovercraft boat, his hydroplane boat there, with a tracking arrow, but then they find it and they smash it, and now he's lost in these caverns that apparently Minotaur uses these caverns for hunting. So there's like these big giant werewolf beasts.
No, they're not werewolf beasts. It's a bear, a freaking lion, like a bear, a lion, and a warthog.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Matata.
Yeah,
Sorry.
He says it's his hunting. He uses it for hunting, but it's more like, hey, I'm going to throw some people down there that I don't like and let the animals eat them.
Yeah. So if anybody finds my base, they're going to get at before they get me. But I mean, this bottom panel is just showing how far ahead back in 1969, where I come from, but later in the year, how far ahead he was, like showing motion in a single panel with like a single character.
Oh yeah, I mean, because you've got the three, because he literally turns. He shoots 3 arrows, and he turns and manages to hit all the animals.
Yeah.
But this is a great panel. I mean, and I know it's pretty simple, but it's easy to read, and like I said, like you're saying, it's down at the bottom is just it's the motion that we talked about in the
Yeah.
past.
It's like the very light green to like a little, like a mid green to like the awesome dark green. And apparently that
Yep.
last arrow was a webbing arrow because it says thwip.
Flip. Damn it.
I wonder who says that. I love that these books are so old that they do like quarter page ads for other stuff like summertime begins with giant scooter.
Yep.
And the
a
Revel
freaking
ad.
book I've never heard of.
Obviously, just from looking at it, it's out of the old Archie family.
Yeah, it's an Archie book, yeah, but it's it's definitely a Betty and Veronica knockoff.
Yeah. It's like a DC Archie book because you can see the DC logo up in the top left corner.
Oh yeah. So sadly here the last animal that Ollie like knocks out apparently passes out or something, but it's a bear, I guess. That's what
And
it
it
looks
lands
like
on
in
him.
the next panel. It lands on his ass. So he's pinned under a bear here.
So
Did you get a
that
chance
scene,
to read the new?
You went to this and I go, shit, I forgot to read it. But with the bear falling on him, all I can think is the Swayze movie Roadhouse. At the very end, there's a big fat like bouncer dude with like a white t-shirt and suspenders. It was Trigger, what do you remember? A polar bear fell on top of me. It was like a stuffed polar bear from the guy's hunt, and Swayze had pushed it over, so it just like landed on this fat guy and knocked him out.
Knocked him out.
A polar bear fell on me.
Well, what's good for Ollie here though is Batman, who is on the way to find Milkos himself, just happens to be going through the cave and stumbles upon Green Arrow, who's unconscious, and he's like, "Hey, Batman, how did you find me?" He says, "I tracked your Justice League locator. Yeah, it homed right in on you." And
this
Ollie,
is old school talk of I pinged your cell phone.
Yes. But Ollie's a little like disheartened here. He's like, "Bad news. We're lost. I can't make us out of here." But Batman like knocks out a bat. And,
Batarang to bat, boom, knocks
Yep.
it out. Ties a tracker to the bat's leg, and then wakes the bat up and lets him go because the bat will lead them out of the cave.
Yes.
Because it's
Dude, that's
nighttime
awesome.
and that's feeding time for bats, so they're gonna find their way out.
Yep. And they follow his ass out of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now it's during the daytime, and at the exit of the maze, Milkos is up there like he's basically trying to squeeze Ed for any information he has on Ollie Quinn and Bruce Wayne. And even though he knows both of them are, their secret identities, like, I really don't know them. I don't know that much. And of course, here, while he's getting the squeeze on them, Ollie Quinn and Batman break in, and they're like, "Oh God," there they are. And now they threaten Ed's life. Hey, we're going to kill him. Stop, or we're going to murder him. And Ed's at least, I don't say at least, but he's brave enough to say, "Hey, don't listen to them. Just stop them." Which they do. They stop for just a minute. And he's like, we can't risk your life. But Green Arrow has one of his little trick arrows, and he shoots it, bounces it around the room, and manages to just hit the damn hammer of the gun so it can't close. And when the gun has been jammed, or he jammed the triggers, it says, Batman leaps into action. He's like, "I can't believe it," and starts taking out the other guys.
And Batman in the last panel just looks like he's trying out for the Rockettes.
For the Rockettes.
What? I'm sorry, dude, but your leg doesn't bend that way.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it a great action panel, but
Yeah. It could have been a little better.
Yeah.
Now this is to me like this is where we're getting classic Neil here. I love the easy to read layouts, and when you start having parts of the panels break into the others, that's when he's, to me, at like his best. This is the only scene I think in the book where he does this. Yeah. So they head out. Minotaur manages to get away, and he's like, "Hey, we can't arrest him. We're in the damn Mediterranean, but we'll have to figure something out." And Ollie's just like, "Hey, you just gave me an idea." So he's like, "Cool, you gave me an idea." And Batman takes Ed and puts him in the bat plane. He's like, "Hey," Ed almost spills the beans. He's like, "Hey, Bruce, you've got to get back to Washington. You've got to vote." And Batman's like, "Well, I hope Green Arrow's idea works out." So he gets in the plane to head off, and then Milkos gets a damn invitation to a party to honor Ollie Quinn in the Mediterranean. And he goes and shows up at the party, "Hey, I'm glad to see you here," and, Milkos is giving him hell, "Hey, too bad we're going to be the ones that are going to get that contract. You're not going to get it." And Ollie's, of course, "Hey, too bad, you didn't kill me, but we'll get the contract."
Yeah, too bad you're going to be in prison.
Yeah. And he's like, "What do you mean? You can't arrest me. I'm an American citizen. I'm in a foreign country." And then lo and behold, here comes your technicalities. "Oh, but didn't I mention this party's at the on American soil because this is the American
U.S. Embassy."
Yeah. So Milkos like flips out. He's like, "Hey, you're not gonna take me. This is outrage." He's gonna leave. I've got my men outside, but Ollie, who seems to take no great pleasure in this, knocks the hell out of this old man to make sure he doesn't leave. And then flies his ass off in his own helicopter. While in the Senate, here are all their senators. I was going to see if there's any I recognize in here. Hold on. Oh, never mind. Be a little asshole there. Sorry. Batman manages to land in Washington and gets out and heads straight to the Capitol building, going around the Washington Monument when this dang assassin, tries to shoot him. He says, "Oh, so they're trying to kill Bruce Wayne or Batman." And he makes it, they start to take the vote in the Senate chambers. They usually don't move this fast. And here goes Batman. And of course, you got all these people. "I vote no. The bill's going to lose unless Wayne gets here." And they start calling for him. "Senator Bruce Wayne, please give your vote. Please give your vote." And he just manages to change into his suit and show up before he passes the law. He's like, "Yeah, I vote yes." So everybody's happy that the law gets passed there at the end. And then the next day, Ed's there, and he lets Ed meets with Ollie Quinn, and he says, "Hey, we landed the contract. We're going to build the island." And then Ed gets told by Ollie, he says, "Hey, I realize that both of my identities really helped this. The Green Arrow and the Ollie Quinn. So I'm going to keep being a superhero. I'm going to go back to being a superhero."
Queen. And, Ollie Queen.
What am I saying?
Ollie Quinn.
Quinn. Queen.
Dang it.
Yeah. It's been a late day. So now the next day, or later at Wayne Manor, Ed meets up with Bruce, who tells him, "Hey, now that the law's been passed, I'm going to step down, and the governor can reappoint your dad back to his old job because he's on the mend." And, I couldn't have got it done without Batman, so I'm going to go back to being Batman. And lastly, but not least, we see Ed back in his office as he decides that now that everything's been taken care of, I'm going to mind wipe myself with self-hypnosis. Like, really?
You were saying the And the last thing we see here, an ad for
Yeah.
new Matchbox king size models of the month. This is when they used to when guys like us used to do like models on the week, build models on the weekend. They had actual model clubs that your parents could join for you, and every month
And
you
they'd
get like a new model to build.
Yep, send you one. But yeah, I did read the letters page, and I told you to read it. Um, the thing it says, what's interesting, you go back and read it, is they talk a little bit about the fact that Green Arrow hasn't been around for a while. And you can look at it and see he looked completely different. And they got Neil Adams to update his look and kind of decide if they're going to bring him back. And they have. In the decision, he's going to be in a later issue of Justice League of America. And they'll talk more about the crap that Ollie's been dealing with as he hasn't been a superhero. So that may be a book we may need to track down just to see what in the world he was doing before he decided to start back up his superhero career.
Mhm.
And largely after that, the rest of the article is just like kind of about Neil Adams and his wife and, getting their work turned in on time and stuff like that. But I am interested to find out what issue of Justice League of America that is.
Well, speaking of Justice League of America, that just so happens to be the book that I picked for next.
Sweet. What is it?
Now, I can't remember the number, but remember the one, the issue that I got it's in a pile over by my recliner.
Oh, Lord.
That I got in, and it's got Black Lightning on the cover, and I bought it because it had Black Lightning on the cover, and I love Black Lightning.
It's like 179 or something.
Yeah. That just so happens to be the first time the League approaches Jefferson Davis? No, that's Boss Hogg. I can't remember his name right at the top of my head right now, but it's the first time that they invite Black Lightning to be a member of the Justice League. And it's an older issue. It's like I think it's bronze. Yeah, it's bronze. But there's a couple of racy lines in there. And guess who is at top of the racy lines? Your buddy, Ollie Quinn. I mean, Queen.
Really?
And
it's 173.
Yeah, that issue takes place after Iris West Allen has been murdered by Reverse Flash.
Damn it. Yeah, it's Justice League 173.
Yeah. So Barry is an angry Cub Scout. So he is very short-tempered, and you can't blame him. The guy's wife was just murdered. So
and I looked on there. It looks like it's a Dick Dillon cover too, or Dick Dillon probably did the whole book. But yeah, Dick Dillon and Giordano. So cool.
Oh, Giordano.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
He was a great inker.
Yeah, he was a great artist.
Yeah.
I've got, and I know I always say it incorrectly. It's part of living in the South. Infantino. How do you say it?
Oh, Carmine Infantino.
Yeah. I've got his like complete Batman, and like Giordano inked all of it pretty much. It's awesome. But cool. I'll get it up, and then we'll plan to do it next week.
Sounds good to me. Thank you once again for that awesome package. And where'd I put it? I put it somewhere. Everything's dark over here, so I can't tell. I'll just reach in and grab. And speak of the devil, I reached in and grabbed Squadron Supreme.
Nighthawk.
So I will. I'm gonna bring this over to my table. I got a bunch of stuff I'm reading now over there. I just read a Brave and the Bold with Green Lantern and Batman. That was that was really good. It was kind of like a wartime kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this would be cool. I haven't read a Marvel book in a long time now. So
Yeah. Read more Marvel.
read more DC. I am. You've seen my stats. I'm like, yeah, I have. But so until next time, this is Will.
This was Thomas.
We'll catch you next Thursday, 8 p.m. right here for another episode of OK Boomer. See, we're such boomers. I forget the name all the time.
Damn it.